I love the Truly can in the background.
The Truly can.
Down here. On mine.
Oh, I was like, what? I thought you were looking at them. I'm like, what? Let's see. Doop. And there goes the encoder. And we are good to go.
Hey, welcome to the one and only IT and the D show. This is episode 349. Happy Memorial Day to everybody listening. Hopefully you did give a moment of silence today to all the men and women that have paid the ultimate price in serving our country and giving us our freedoms. We appreciate it.
It is because of people like you that we can be the self-entitled jerkwads that we are. And
indeed,
we appreciate it.
We are broadcasting live from our homes. I think this is what our 10th or 8th edition of quarantine podcasting.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. This is, if you don't know me, I'm Bob the Sales Guy. That's Dave the Geek.
Yo.
Randy, I do the Twitters, is doing the Twitters. You can find us online at itandthed.com. Do us a favor, give us a like on the socials and subscribe to us everywhere. Fine podcasts are sold, except for Podcast Addict, because apparently Google just took them off of
they got pulled.
They're back.
Oh, they're back now? Yeah. But and as per usual, this is usually the part of the show where we talk about our upcoming events, and we ain't got none. And in fact, I actually just canceled the Facebook listing for the Ann Arbor event because that was still on.
Good. Yeah. Because our governor just extended our stay home, stay safe order again until June 12th.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody in Traverse City, shout out to all my friends up there.
No kidding.
Traverse City is packed.
Well, and they did. Apparently, they had a couple of people that showed up positive. Obviously, they didn't catch it there. Well, I said a couple. And so they showed up. I guess they went up and had it and just developed worse symptoms while they were there. So, yay! I think we all were kind of expecting those kind of stories. But yeah, I mean, it was,
Not two.
Well, yeah.
Like that made the news.
No, I mean, we'll see more, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, it's, things got relaxed a little bit. You can have gatherings of 10 or more, or 10 or fewer, sorry. So yeah, I've been surprised. I left the house a couple times to just run a couple errands. And yeah, there's a lot of cops out. So go figure, holiday weekend and the first time that gatherings are allowed, there's an awful lot of police on the streets.
Well, everyone's crazy. It's kind of like the toga party just opened up its doors and they go like, oh my God, they're just running like Forrest Gump to get to wherever they need to get to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've all been crapped up for a few months, man. Everybody's going stir crazy. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling it too.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. Couple interesting things changed this weekend. So we talked last week about my Bundesliga came back on this weekend.
Yep.
Or last weekend. And so this weekend I'm watching, and two things changed. They started piping in cheers and chants, crowd chants, and they basically masked off the crowd, the seats, with advertising.
Okay.
So I'm watching it, and I go, Usually I kind of passively watch. I'm not actively watching. It's kind of I'm reading news. I'm drinking coffee. You know what I mean? It's like kind of been my Sunday tradition for years and years and years and years. And it sounds the same. And I go, wait a minute. There's like full on chant going on. Then I look up. It's sure as shit empty arena.
So where are they piping it in from? Is it from past games? Is it are they
dude,
where? Are they...
I don't know. I would love to. I mean, it's going through the PA speakers.
Was it? Yeah, because it can't be coming in remotely from bars.
I was gonna say, I got an engineer pushing the cheer button when their team is doing good, and the boo button.
There was this part where the ball just missed the net, and I think you heard it was bizarre. There had to have been somebody. Yeah, just to watch it and go wait a minute, they're chanting when the guy's doing a throw in. Then the chants get kind of pumped up a little bit, and it kind of tames down when it's in play.
Huh?
It was pretty, and it was clean. It's not like it wasn't awkward. It wasn't dumb.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't like a badly dubbed movie or anything.
No, it wasn't laugh tracks on Brady Bunch.
Well, and I saw Mikey posted something earlier where apparently they're bringing fans back into the WWE. If I read that correctly.
No, they're letting everyone. This is my call. Like everyone that's backstage and crew and shit. I go, why don't they have them every 3 seats apart?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so that's what they're doing. They're bringing in anyone that wasn't booked for the show, for all backstage, all the ring crew, all the truck drivers, basically, anyone, sitting them 3 seats apart and letting them holler, which I'm completely fine with.
No, makes sense.
Here's a weird thing. Somebody posted, so the wrestling events that they're toying the idea of putting ice hockey plexiglass around the ring in front of the crowd.
I mean, you got that fake punch spray coming your face, so.
I mean, I got the guy behind me screaming with his
Yeah,
schlitt.
exactly. Yeah, the people that are literally a foot behind you because you can't even sit with your knees straight in front of you in those seats.
Right. And then another thing, I'm how huge of a NASCAR fan I am. Just kidding. But I saw NASCAR on and I thought it was video game NASCAR, and I just kind of wanted to watch because it's weird.
Right.
And it was actually live car racing, so I was like, that was an empty arena. But I'm like, okay,
So I'm curious, so the pit crews, were they all masked up? Were they?
But I didn't want to watch it that far to figure out what they were doing. It was enough that I just go, oh, okay, no crowd. All right, I'm out.
Should have taken one for the team and kept watching, Bob.
No.
Yeah, but no. So that, well, I guess speaking of cars, I mean, I guess the Dream Cruise is officially canceled.
No.
Well, officially canceled. Whether or not there's still going to be a shit ton of cars on Woodward is still remains to be seen. But yeah,
I got a theory, and it's going to be probably one of the bigger ones we've ever seen. You're just not going to get the people in the lawn chairs in the boulevard.
People in their cars driving back and forth. Yeah,
everyone's going to take the car out.
I mean, you can't stop the driving of the cars, but all the supplementary events and all the cities along Woodward are definitely off.
Well, yeah, bars and restaurants are closed and all that stuff. So yeah,
I was on YouTube going around, and it was some video of Karen stops little boy's hot rod party, 5 million views, and it's a week old. And I go, what the hell is this? So I put it on. Apparently, it was in Texas. This little kid's birthday. He wanted a hot rod party. He's 10 years old or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this hot rod club's like, all right, we'll take a lap through your neighborhood and rev up our engines. Well, this one frumpy short-haired lady gets in front of the entire procession, stops it. 4 cop cars come screaming in, sirens blaring, and then find out what's going on. So basically they apologize.
What was she doing, the Tiananmen Square tank guy?
Yep. So they have a part due this past weekend, and literally everyone in the entire neighborhood is actually really awesome to watch.
Drove across her lawn.
No, that too. No, but everyone came out of their house. There was everyone's family went on the front lawn or sit in the driveway. And it was just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, in their own houses.
That's very cool.
Watching, yeah, and then people brought out Lamborghinis, and they weren't doing anything illegal. They were just revving up their engines.
Yeah.
But, these 2 videos were 7 million views.
That's crazy. Well, and I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, you and I, we both had our birthdays, during this nonsense, and I don't, okay, fine, we didn't get one bar night, hanging out with the guys, but for kids, that's it's kind of a bigger deal. Birthdays still really matter to them and that kind of stuff, and so it does kind of suck for them.
Well, that's the one thing. Gretchen's really good friend turned 18, and she's like, I can't miss it. I'm like, go. She had 2 friends over,
right,
last weekend. Yeah, you can't. How you gonna miss that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the thing.
She's turning 16 in June, so it's we're talking today. What are we doing? Oh,
Yeah. No, true. Well, and then the other thing that got canceled is Theater Bazaar.
Yeah. Well, you figured they had to because they got to start building that set now.
Yep.
That thing's year-long thing. So yeah, that got canceled. And then here's the weird one. I had Ministry Cam FDM tickets in July. Yeah. And I had Kraftwerk tickets in July. And Kraftwerk just said it was postponed at the Masonic. But Ministry, I got an email saying your tickets have been reissued for April 21st, 2021. And I had to do a triple take. I'm like, April already passed. I go, holy shit, next year.
Yeah.
April. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
Guess I'll put that on the calendar.
Guess we're going next year. Yeah, I know. I'm like, looking forward to that. I mean, I thought July was far away to go to this concert. I think I bought the tickets in January. Dude, did you see I just sent it today because it just leaked. But the episode 9.
The Duel of the Fates concept art? Yeah.
Not only the concept art, but the actual storyline.
Yeah.
The proposed story got released. And they're basically saying, okay, would you rather have seen this version? And they were showing, like, basically it was Kylo went and got trained. It was in Clone Wars when Anakin was in that weird Force, like, alternate universe. I don't know if you remember that one, like on this weird, like, so it was like Kylo went and you learned how to pull souls or pull light forces. Ray went more like the all black, what like Return of the Jedi Luke.
Yeah.
He had a double-sided, blue.
Got it from Wish.
Yeah, I got to be careful. A double-ended blue. But like the whole story was different, and I don't know if it would have made it better or worse. Like at the end, basically what happened was Kylo tried to kill Rey by pulling all her life force.
Right.
And in between, he like caught himself that he like had love for her, so he gave her back, which killed him. But then it gave Rey dark side.
Yep.
So then, like, you know, and then it was supposed to end with Rey opening up a Jedi thing with the broom boy from 8.
Yeah.
And Tatooine. So like it was an insanely different movie. They were supposed to go to Coruscant, and Coruscant was like layered of like poor and rich. Like they were building on top of it, so it was destroyed.
Well, I mean, they showed you that in the prequels when Obi-Wan and blanking whatever the guy from Taken. Yeah, they were on. Yeah, when they went into the bar where the guy was smoking joints and like offered Obi-Wan one, they showed like that whole layering thing, and when
the death sticks.
The assassination attempt on Padme, and like that was on. So, but they showed you all the different levels, and that featured really heavily in the Clone Wars cartoons too. So,
yeah, but if you get a chance, just to, you know, and then they split off, like Poe and Finn. I think split off, or then Rose, or you know what I mean. Like it was all like it was like basically 2 different movies. I don't know. It didn't look like it was. You could make that, and I'd be fine with it. I'd watch it again. Like make the remake. Do me a favor, do it. Did you speaking of that, did you see the redo of the episode 4 scene 38? I want to say it was the Obi-Wan Darth Vader.
Yes.
When Obi-Wan died and someone went in and like, here's the thing, George Lucas, I know you're listening because you gave us a remake, like adding like little aliens like with eating toads and shit.
Yeah, nobody needed an extra dewback.
No,
nobody needed. Yeah.
Like this, what this guy did with what no budget was like, oh my God, that was good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you thought.
Oh, dude, I mean, visually amazing. And that's one of the things, I mean, you look at, well, I mean, and the other thing to keep in mind is, okay, so the special editions came out in 96.
7.
And so, you know, you've got 23 years since then. You know, I mean, you know, and granted, they were running everything on SGI machines and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, they had some horsepower. But, I mean, the technology has gotten so much better now. I mean, God, I mean, the shit you can film a movie and make a movie on your phone now. You know,
but
so
it didn't look any worse than like Leia CGI and Tarkin CGI. It didn't look worse than that.
No, well, God, I mean, the Tarkin CGI I still cringe over, but the Leia one I think they did a great job on. But yeah, no, absolutely. The
only thing that I didn't like though, the problem was they did like the Rogue One Vader with the red saber. You know, like that was like I was cool with it, but it's like all right, it's been done.
Yeah.
But everything else, man, that kid. I mean, considering it was a one-man job, that kid knocked it out of the park. I'm assuming it's a kid. If you haven't seen it, it's what is episode 4, scene 38, revisited. Oh my God, it was good.
So are you waiting on anything to be delivered currently?
Oh God.
Yeah. Not mad about it though.
Well, so it's funny. So like I was saying, I got the extra like corner piece for the bar and that kind of stuff that I've been setting up. And so I think it was Thursday. I ordered 3 straight pieces too to fill in the gaps and add some extra shelf space. And so the 3 straight pieces were all in one shipment. One got delivered Thursday. The entire order still says out for delivery, so I have no idea where the hell those other 2 pieces are. And apparently, the Oak Park distribution center for FedEx is just a disaster area. Like it's apparently completely chaotic. People have been waiting, weeks, if not more than a month, for things to come out of there. They've, basically, people have like gone there to try to pick up their packages and been told that they can't.
The truck hasn't been unloaded yet, so they have no idea. Like
Yeah.
they know the package is on what truck, but 400 other packages are there too. So
Yeah.
You can't be mad about it though. You know what's going on.
Oh yeah, no, dude, it's like my shit. I'm not, when it gets here, it gets here. It's things I'll screw around with. But I mean that kind of dovetails with one of the other stories that a lot of the e-commerce sites are seeing a huge spike in business on quote unquote non-essential items.
Dude, they've been giving crap away.
Yeah.
Like I bought, I got to buy all new shorts, right? Basically, all my shorts except for like 2 pair are like fall off me. You know what I mean? So I had to buy new shorts. Dude, everywhere is giving them away for like $10, $11. Like these really nice Walter Hagen golf shorts I bought for like $11 from Dick's. Like I'm not gonna not buy those. Yeah, those are non-essential, but
Yeah, and when they get here, they get here. Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah, and I got my Smokey and the Bandit Funko Pop. Goddamn right, I'm ordering that. Dude, it's beautiful.
Oh, hey, speaking of which, did you see the
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, he's even in the car. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, related because it's Burt Reynolds. Did you see the Cannonball Run records have been decimated over the course of the past 3 weeks?
In order to do it though, don't you have to average like 138 miles an hour?
They were saying some of these states they're averaging 120, 130 miles an hour through. And the previous record, I believe, was 29 hours, if I recall correctly, and it's coast to coast. Yeah. So I mean, it's 29 hours to go, 2,000 odd miles. And apparently the new record is just over 25 hours, because there's nobody on the roads, there's nobody around. And so now there's this whole, it doesn't really count because it's not normal traffic conditions and all that.
Right, it counts. Just because you hit a home run because it's windy doesn't mean it ain't a home run.
Exactly. And, so they're talking about how, these cars are, all loaded up with like marine tanks of extra gas so they don't have to stop. And just, and one of the things in the story was that apparently they've been working on a reboot, of course. And we've talked about this a few times, like, who would you want to see in the reboot of a Cannonball Run? But yeah, no, I mean, it was just interesting to see, like, the average speeds and that kind of crap that they were getting across the country. It's just friggin' insane.
You got to either bring a milk jug or have a Stadium Pal strapped on.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, based on what I've seen on 94 and 696 the past couple of weeks, that doesn't surprise me at all that people are driving that fast.
No kidding.
They're nuts. They're nuts. Oh my God. Dude, I've never laughed so hard. I swear to God, I think my wife thinks there's something chemically wrong with me sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah, I know. There's the drug commercials, which are already stupid, because she's in the medical field and I always ask her, like, do people come up to you going, can I have Zoloft? Because I saw a commercial, this lady dancing. Like, I go, that doesn't work, does it? Like, you're going to prescribe what they need, not what they see on TV. Well, sure as shit, there's a commercial for, is it called Taliance or something? It's for diabetes. And the only reason I stopped, because I'm reading or whatever, while this commercial's going on, there's a woman in the middle of a football field with a marching band. And they're like, side effects may include a fatal fungal infection of the perineum. And then on the bottom, they have a written description. The perineum is the area between the genitals and the anus.
Oh,
you don't have diabetes anymore, but now you got taint shrooms.
You have taint fungus, which how the hell does it? Well, how do you take a pill that stops the beatus and you get fungus in your taint? Like,
that's one of those. Like, I want to see. I want to know what the correlation there is. Like, what is it doing? What is it doing to your body chemistry that cures diabetes, but gives you taint fungus? Like, what?
But then the lady's in a marching band on a football field, and she catches a football after they talk about it. Like, what the hell? Like, again,
I'm living a normal life.
Again, I went boardroom going, okay, they have to, there's an advertising agency that had to write this out on a picture board, and someone had to type perineum is between the anus and the genitals on a graphic on the TV. Like,
yeah, the glorious life of an advertising copywriter. That's what that is. That's just phenomenal.
It reminds me when we went to birthing classes, and they were like, they were talking about ripping the perineum, and I used to be really loud, like, what's the perineum? Is that the gooch? Like, I get kicked under the table. Like, what? I want to know. You know.
I'm looking for the medically accurate definition.
Yeah. So speaking of the gooch, bad segue, but Mr. Joe Rogan's getting paid, eh?
Dude, again, goals. You know, just like when it got announced that Gimlet got bought for $237 million. Yeah, so Rogan just signed a $100 million deal with Spotify, which, I mean, you think about it, it's, you know, I get it. You know, I think Spotify is trying to be what SiriusXM became when Stern went there. You know, it's, you know, so I get it.
So they basically, there's an article that came out that did the math, and you know how big of a fan I am of math.
Yep.
And we'll talk about more math in a minute, but they were saying like he gets 10x viewership with Stern right now. Stern was making $90 million a year from SiriusXM. They basically said Rogan probably left 400 million on the table, 500 million on the table by doing it this way.
Dude, well, he's going exclusive, so he's going to lose listenership and viewership because after the end of the year, his stuff won't be available as full episodes on YouTube anymore.
You know what? I bet he won't.
He gets to keep YouTube.
What's that?
He gets to keep YouTube.
Clips I saw, but not the full episodes anymore.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. I mean, nobody was watching him for 4 hours on YouTube.
And I'm not going to switch podcast apps for one podcast.
People will. I mean, a lot of people said, "Oh, I'm never getting satellite radio," and then all of a sudden, oh shit, Stern went there. Guess I'm getting satellite radio. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess this guy he wrote this article on Supercast. He said you just basically by Rogan's numbers, he was estimating he makes about $60 million a year already.
Well, and I you know, honestly, and that's the thing. I mean, I get it, and they're talking about, you know, leaving money on the table and that kind of shit. But I mean, at some point in time, dude, if you're getting $100 million, does it matter that you're leaving maybe another 100 out there? Do you care?
Spotify's market cap jumped to $3 billion from it.
Went insane within the first 24 hours of that announcement.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's, you know, well, obviously I don't blame him. You know, and it takes away all the headaches and hassles of having to worry about ad sales and all that crap on his own or his own staff and that kind of shit. Just let them do it. Why not?
Right. I know. Anyways, congratulations to Rogan. I guess it's a big step for, I guess, all podcasts.
Yeah, dude, cheers. Even though we hate you because you keep stealing all of our ideas, but cool.
Well, after this goes through, is he still a podcast?
Yes, yeah. It is still a podcast. I saw that debate, and it's one of those, you know, it's got to be openly available on, you know, via an RSS feed. And I mean, and technically speaking, it is. It's just only going to one destination. I mean, it's no different than, so like the businesses that record with us and only distribute their stuff over their own internal RSS feeds. Is that a podcast because it's not publicly available? Yeah, it's still a podcast. Their own staff listens to it.
Who gives a shit what Stern is or what Rogan is? It's a talk show and we listen to it. It's, you know what I mean? Does it matter what it's labeled? He called the shit poop. So what? It is what it is. I'm just saying. Speaking of which, Dave, I know you know everyone's going stir crazy, being corrupt up in the house. I'm starting to get the calculator out because it's math season, and I'm starting to get
Wabbit season.
Yeah, math season. You know, one of my favorite things to do ever is one of these memes that has bad math, and I like to correct people.
Yep.
I don't correct people's English. I correct their math. That's what I've been doing this since the internet started. My latest one is for only 3% of the military's budget, we can end world hunger. So I went out and I said, okay, I got to do the math. And basically there's 3% of the military's budget is about $36 billion.
Okay.
If I remember. and there's what 5.7 billion, or no, I'm sorry, 7 point something billion people on the backwards, 7.5 billion people on the earth.
Right.
It worked. The math worked out to $3.77.
Well, but okay, so but you're
person.
doing a global application. Okay,
Why
so
not?
not all 7 billion people are suffering from hunger. You know, so I mean, you've got to do that. I mean, like,
so let's add a zero. So then they get $30. Right. So I'm just saying, you can add 2 zeros, $300.
Right.
Like,
Still not ending anything. Yeah.
and you get to, someone gets to eat good for a little bit. Like,
they get a couple of weeks of their groceries covered. That's
1 week, or whatever. I don't care if you're on, let's say you can get, whatever. And then the other one was, oh my God, they've been driving me nuts. Oh, if we liquidate all the if we take all the billionaires' money in the U.S., we can get health care and we can get all our stuff forever.
right.
Because billionaires keep all their money in cash, like Scrooge McDuck.
It's in a big Scrooge McDuckian vault, and underneath.
In the savings account making 0.25% interest.
Yeah, they sleep on it. That's what they do. They sleep on it,
right.
and
we can just check it out of the bank, and then we can get all our stuff.
Yeah, people. I don't think people understand what net worth actually means. I really don't. That's. I mean, I
don't at all. Because it means like, okay, like every building downtown is worth whatever $1 million,
mm-hmm.
unless someone owns it, and they're worth that much money.
Right.
So basically, like, so you got to liquidate and get cash for. Like, you don't get cash for that shit anyway when you sell it.
Dude, speaking of downtown, I got to shoot it to you if you haven't seen it yet. Apparently there's some new loft, studio loft thing that got built just off of Eastern Market. And don't get me wrong, it's beautiful and everything. Asking price is $1.6 million.
For how big of a loft?
I mean, it's good size, but it's $1.6 million right off.
Dude, I was looking up. Every once in a while, I'll look through real estate just to see what's going on. Real estate's stupid right now.
Yeah. Especially downtown.
Oh yeah, and then in the West End. Oh my God, is it expensive? Like I think they're like $700,000 for like a 2-bedroom in the West End still.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
The ones in Royal Oak that started at like $300,000, those are 5 right now.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
The Main Street ones. It's not even, it's stupid how ridiculous prices got.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where I'm like, hey, you know what? If you've got it and you want to burn it, more power to you. With all the churn that's going on in Royal Oak, are those things even going to be worth that? Who knows?
Oh my God! Speaking of dumb things, did you have you seen the health director of LA? The photos of her.
Dude, she is the unhealthiest looking person I've ever seen in my life. She looks like the guy from Poltergeist 2.
No, I saw the one from a Men in Black with the puppy or with the dog in the whatever. He's like a street vendor.
Yeah, or Jesus, what was it? Or like Cocoon, like one of the things that came out of the Jesus.
Well, here's where it gets funny. Somebody put this on their Facebook feed, and it basically got marked as false information checked by independent fact checkers. So everybody's like, oh my God, they fact checked an opinion. Because someone put the health director of LA as the most unhealthy looking person I've ever seen.
Nice of LA.
Yeah, and it got marked as false information, CY, and it blanked out the photo like if it was something of gore. You know what I mean? When they usually say like click to see photo.
So was that because somebody randomly marked it as fake, or because Facebook was going through and marked it as fake?
Well, it said checked by independent fact checkers, CY. You could click CY.
I'm assuming this was some algorithm gone wrong that sent it to fact checkers in the first place.
Right, but then of course the first comment is Lamau, they fact checked an opinion.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you pronounce it Lamau?
I totally did.
He did. Who, the singer of the theme from Neverending Story, used to be a member of the lead singer for Kaja Gugu. That's Lamau.
Wow.
Isn't it pronounced Lamau? What are you supposed to say?
LMAO, short for laughing my ass off.
It was only the L was capital, then it was undercase, so that it's a word.
Or
Those
it's,
all capitals.
apparently it's L apostrophe MAO. It's Lamau.
Wow, yeah.
It's French.
By the way, I found my new Super Sweet 16 show on
All right.
TV.
Keep talking.
I'm watching one of my whatever pundit shows, and the whole show they were ripping on this show on TLC called 90 Day Fiancé. And Randy, have you seen this?
No, it's not my type of show at all.
I find out I've never heard of it, and I come to find out there's like 5 seasons of this crap. And they're basically the show that I was watching. They were making fun of this guy who you remember He-Man? He looked like Ram Man, like literally the man had like he like this, like no neck, like literally like I can't even just like what he looked like.
Okay.
And these are what they basically did is they followed like 8 people who met someone online, and most of them were like out of the country.
Okay, so I decided that when you had that topic, I'm bringing in an expert. So this is Lauren from the new show on the network called Trash Pandas, all about trash TV, and they've spent.
My name is Lauren Walker, and I love trash.
And so they've been talking about 90 Day Fiancé for the last 2 weeks.
Oh my God!
Go,
Lauren. So I just discovered 90 Day Fiancé, and I watched 2 episodes. I watched the one guy, basically the one guy with no neck, with like the 22-year-old
Big Ed.
Yeah. Like,
Big Ed and Rose.
I don't even know how he buys dress shirts like that. The whole show. I'm figuring. Well, so let me paint the picture. So there's.
Okay, for those like me who have never seen it. So what is the premise? What is 90 Day Fiancé?
So it's people that have met online. Lauren, correct me if I'm wrong. People that have met online that are like going to get married, I guess within 90 days, right? Thus 90 days. But they're from some different country. Like there was a guy from Vegas, like a 60-year-old guy with some chick from the Ukraine or Russia.
So see, when I say fiancé, I think like those mail order bride, and they have like fiancé visas.
And there are some. You know what? In the first couple of seasons, they didn't really have that. It wasn't
there's more seasons. Wait, there's more than one season?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. There are so many seasons. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that there are about 7 different 90 Day Fiancé spinoffs. We have like 90 Day Fiancé, which is Americans that bring their significant other that they met online to America on a K-1 visa, which means they have to be married within 90 days. Otherwise, they have to return to their home country. But then we also have 90 Day Fiancé the other way, before the 90 days just landed. There are so many other ones.
Isn't it like Pillow Talk too?
I'm sorry?
Isn't it like Pillow Talk too?
There is Pillow Talk too. And there's also 90 Day Fiancé What Now? And 90 Day Fiancé, there's so many. Like there's so many.
The one that was hilarious, so there's a 60-year-old guy from Vegas with this like really pretty Ukraine, Russian, whatever.
Yeah, and Lana and David.
Yeah, they've been talking for, oh my God, you know their names. You're so pathetic. I'm just gonna. They've been talking for 7 years, and she finally gives him the address to go meet her, and it's some old Russian guy, and he's like, I don't speak Russian, and he's like, the guy's dumbfounded that he's at this wrong apartment, but then like he met her for real, like at some town square, like. I told you, I'm fast forwarding through it. I'm not watching it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And I'm like, oh my God, he ended up really meeting her. And he's like trying to hug her, and her arms are at her side like that, like I'm not hugging you.
Oh yeah, she's very standoffish. They go for like a bowling date, and he's like, if I get a strike, he says, first of all, he starts it off by saying that he was a competitive bowler. And he's like, if I get a strike, then you have to kiss me. And he is just like getting like 1 pin down. He rolls a gutter ball. Like.
So my question is, she speaks 0.0 English.
Yep.
Like, how did they talk for 7 years online?
They do it through an app or like a website where they like have people that translate it and then send it for you. And he has to pay for every message he sends to her.
So you don't remember back in the day on the effed company message boards, there was a guy who posted my journey of finding a Russian wife, and he started off on one of these websites, and it was like he had to like you would pay to send a message, and there would be a translator on the other side that would translate it for them, and then they would write a message, and it would get translated and then sent to you, and like when he took a trip, actually I think if I recall correctly, he wound up taking like 4 trips over there, and went through this entire process, and it was hilarious to watch.
How it's so bizarre though, Lauren. How do you fall in love with like that? Like I don't like obviously I know the answer. You fall in love with the idea of the person.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many scammers out there, and there's people out there that just really are craving love, and they just want somebody to understand them and love them the way that they think that they need to be loved, and it's like they will convince themselves that these are real people, Like
the one guy with no neck, he's like in love. He's in love with like a 22-year-old, 90-pound Filipino girl.
Yeah.
Who the sister's hitting him up for money, and like. He's like, I don't know what to do. And
he was pretty insulting to her though. Like she ends up like leaving him, and so he actually gifts her like mouthwash and toothpaste, and it's like your breath is really bad.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Like flowers and candy just don't apply in these rules.
Yeah, no, like
I go, yeah, because they probably don't have dentistry where she lives. Like if she lived but Lauren, here's the thing. Let's say I meet you online, and we fly to Bora Bora, and like I pull out my suitcase going, I got you a gift, and it's like a purple, like just like a trash, like something from like the what are the sex shops with the like it sells like a cheap like purple like
Fredericks of Latvia.
Yeah. Or like Lover's Lane, whatever, some trash from Lover's Lane, and it goes, I want to try, and you'll be like, dude, and I don't, to me, like, that's trash. Like, it was so bad. Like, it was seriously, this show could not be worse at all.
Well, the fact that he starts off telling her that he's 5'4", which is actually taller than he really is, and then it turns out he's like 4'11". And
he's got like a nice 30 neck.
Yeah, he looks like a thumb. He's like a little thumb walking around. But he like is just so insulting to her. It's like, I would never, if some guy was like, hey, I just met you for the first time, now you're going to stay in my hotel room with me and blah, 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 just because we've been talking online for X amount of, months or years.
No, you get 2 rooms.
No, dude.
You get 2 rooms all day. Like
exactly.
The tact, like I don't understand any of it. Like then that one guy who's clearly gay with the Russian girl.
Yeah. Jeffrey and Varia.
See, you know the names. Oh my God, you're.
Yeah.
Dude, again, they've spent the last 2 weeks dissecting the show.
For real.
It's insane. Like I don't like. And here's the funny part. I got my
Honestly,
wife.
I assumed you started watching it because you caught like one of their.
Yeah,
episodes.
I thought so too.
No. Steven Crowder was ragging on some guy. Like I wrote. Here's the best part. Like I watched like a mid episode and like the latest one. And like right when like the Russian girl surprises him, she goes, "I'm gonna fly to Knoxville, knock on his door, and see what happens." And like, I got my wife roped in, and she's like, "Oh, come on, play the next one." I'm like, "That was the last one." Like,
yeah.
These shows. Like,
all right. So what channel is this on? I'm gonna have to check it out.
TLC.
It's on TLC.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. There's no reality. The producers are writing the scripts for this. Like,
sure. From what I understand, they actually have like a thing where it's like when they're actually scouting out for people, they say, are you dating somebody online? Do you want to go visit them? And do you have something that you haven't told them that you really should, like a big secret that you need to reveal? So that it's like something that they all are going in there with some sort of situational, well, she doesn't know that I'm still married, or she doesn't know that I am not who I said I was, or, you know what I mean?
It took me like 5 minutes to go like, oh, it's just people trying to scam other people out of money. Like, how do you not see this? Like, everyone on there.
It's a trap.
Like, it was.
Let me say though, really quickly, like, okay, so the first couple of seasons, it wasn't like that. It was all people who have like seen each other on video. They've like had pictures, they actually go and have like these people meet them here, like they're actual people. The first time that I remember them bringing on like a catfish, I think was last year with a guy named Caesar. And he had a girl that he was trying to meet, and he went to meet her multiple times, and she would never show up, just like Lana and David, and would never show up. She would always have some kind of excuse. And it's like, dude, he ends up telling everybody that he's sending her $800 a week. Like,
well, wasn't the one where the kids did
with you?
No, that the kids did like a reverse image search, and he was like a photo.
Yep, Yolanda and Williams, and that was the entire thing. Was like, she kept on saying, I'm gonna meet this guy. He was sending her information to like fly into where he lives, and she's like, that's not the airport closest to where you said you lived. Like, he says he's from like the UK, and when she talks to him, he sounds like he's Nigerian. Like, it doesn't, it's like, come on, there's some like pretty big red flags that are letting you know that this person is not a real person.
God, that'd be like, if you're a Nigerian scammer and all the jobs you can have, and the one you have is like catfishing old lady and giving money. That seems like the most fun out of all of them. But the fact
that a lot of money.
The fact that they fall for it, though, I feel so bad for people, because I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like just getting their hearts it's hard enough dealing with heartbreak as alone, let alone like that kind. Because you have these hopes, or like
good old Monte Teo. That's
right.
But by the time you finally meet this person, you've already like, you're on your third kid and your fourth vacation home, and like we're gonna like skip and daffodils, and you know what I mean, like
right.
You plotted your whole life together, like you don't see what are you supposed to do. But God, what an awful show, and like the next one better come on soon.
All right, so I'm gonna have to check this out. And like I said, so they do a show called Trash Pandas. It's Tuesday nights right now. So make sure you check that out. And actually, Lauren, while you're here, there was another topic we were going to talk about that we haven't brought up yet that you should chime in on, because you're a bartender. Dude, I love the idea that's being floated through the legislature now about drinking districts in the state of Michigan. Like that's one of the things we love. Like whenever we do the cons and stuff down in Toledo, I love being able to take a drink and walk to the next bar with it and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're looking at that as a way of helping the bars and restaurants get back up on their feet quickly whenever the doors open. So I guess what's your take on it, and how do you feel about it?
I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, there's a lot of places where it works and everything. I think
where though? I don't. Where I'm trying to think, see where it would work. Like downtown works, Greektown works, Royal Oak, Birmingham.
Well, in Michigan, but I'm saying like just around in general. Like, if you go down to like New Orleans or something, you can walk down the street with a drink, or like open intox, but then also like to carry out stuff, you can do that.
Yeah,
right?
but they're all walkable though. Like I'm just talking about like the areas are walkable. Like Ferndale 9 Mile.
Sure.
Ferndale 9 Mile, the stretch from Roseville Grays to Woodward is walkable. Nothing else is really walkable.
Well, like I said, like to me, like the first thing that jumped to my mind was Hamtramck. I mean, just all the bars that are so close together, and
well, I would assume it would be situations like that where it would be like a place where there's a lot of bars condensed into one area. I don't think that they would just do it everywhere, right?
Yeah, well, there's not really that many the areas where the bars are condensed. Like downtown Rochester, there's maybe like 6 places you can have a drink.
Right.
On Main Street.
Well, or Cath Corridor, where DSC is. Okay, you could grab a drink at DSC and walk over to Temple Bar or Jumbo's,
right?
Or something like that.
Long walk.
Well, Ferndale has a lot. Royal Oak has a lot. Downtown Ann Arbor, like places like that, I could see it being something that's viable, But if it's something like just a general area, it's like I wouldn't be okay with people like driving around with stuff that they can possibly open up, and then it comes back on me because of dram shop laws.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think they're talking about drivability. I think
if you're just talking about like walking around like those areas, there's like so many bars, like why not let them walk around? I mean, you can literally just like spit and hit the bar across the street.
Well, that is the other related proposal, though. Senate Bill 938 would allow like takeaway margaritas or whatever. Like you order a margarita from a bar, go pick it up, bring it home, and drink it.
And I think that they have like a thing where it's like there's tape on it. And
yeah, it'd have to be sealed, and yeah.
Exactly. It's like
there's like a big neon grenade. Like, come on, that's what I was looking forward to. If you're gonna do it right. Big green frog. like the at Comerica Park, like the $30 slushies that has like a half ounce of rum in it.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Being able to bring in a rum drink from there. Yeah.
Well, then not only that, you got Maryland that's got like, I think that's lying, the social distancing inner tubes, like you have to wear entire around your belly.
Those were amazing, and the Burger King crowns in Germany, I thought were fantastic.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it's the Burger King crown, but it's got like a 3 foot, it's a 6 foot diameter around people's heads to try to teach them social distancing properly.
That is really funny. I think that's a great idea.
There goes making out with strangers, man, out the window.
Right.
Well, but that's the thing. You talk about social distancing. Like we talked a little bit about, things opened up this weekend, and you've got, pictures coming in from, Toronto and Texas and everywhere else where there ain't no social distancing going on at all. And
right.
Okay, now are we just waiting for the other shoe to drop? Are things going to happen? But the other part of it is, one of the things they've said all along is like they don't know if this is going to act like the flu, where it kind of goes away when it gets warmer.
Yeah.
And so if that's the case, maybe Texas and Georgia and those kind of, or shit here, over the last couple of days has probably been, great for killing this crap off.
Look at the rates down in Texas and Florida. I mean, it's like almost none.
Yeah. Well, they're flat. It's not. Yeah, I mean they haven't seen a spike. The caseloads are flat. They haven't seen a jump like people were expecting. But like I said, I mean that could be as simple as it got warmer. Who knows?
Open them up.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, hey, Lauren, before we cut you loose, did you guys create a Facebook page for Trash Pandas yet, or what?
We sure did.
Okay.
Yep, it's facebook.com/trashpandas.
Perfect.
Literally. So, and then we're on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Yay! Thanks so much for having me on, guys.
Of course.
Glad I could help out with that.
Hey, I as soon as he shot, I was like, I know exactly who to pull in for this conversation because I got nothing.
You know everything about trash and trending, so.
Thanks, Lauren.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
My favorite. Yeah. By the way, that show is such shit. It's such a bag.
As soon as you said it was your new Super Sweet 16, I was like, oh mother of God, because I've listened to them talk about it while the first two shows ran, and I'm just like my head was almost exploding listening to the plot lines and the stories they were talking through, and I was like, gee, mother of God.
I like how reality shows have a plot line.
Well,
right.
Yeah.
Seriously, the only thing I could thought about was the guy. If they had made the new He-Man movie, he should be Ram Man. He was just like him. Like, it's insane. Seriously.
Hey, so I was loosely paying attention to the comments. Gary Heitman, screw you, Gary. He said, "Hey, you guys look awful."
That's true.
My kid sister tuned in and asked me what jersey I'm wearing. This is the Tron jersey. This is a light cycle. It's got Flynn on the back, from the movie. Yeah. But yeah.
My favorite guy of the week is the guy that basically said "F you, DoorDash."
Dude, and so this ties into something we've talked about in the past, where DoorDash is basically co-opting co-opting businesses by basically saying, hey, we deliver for this business with no permission from that business. And this guy found his own business listing when people started asking him, oh, we see you offer delivery now, yada yada. And so he decided to have a little fun with it.
Well, not just fun with it, but basically
fun and profit.
Fun and profit. Well, they were he charged $24 for the pizza. It was being listed as $16 by DoorDash. So he was basically buying his own pizzas to sell back to people for an $8 more profit.
Yep.
And he's like, screw him. And I don't blame him because, again, they were, what was the word? Oh, it's venture capital is just small business loans for assholes. That's a great line. We should have a Brad Who's redo that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, venture capital is not the end game.
And again, we love this shit too. DoorDash lost $450 million, generating $900 million in revenue last year.
Yeah.
Like you own nothing, like zero.
Yeah, because I mean, the delivery. So the drivers are paid by us. The food is paid for by us at a markup.
They take a cut.
Or apparently in some cases at a loss because you're an idiot and you're charging improperly for
it. If you click the fee, there's 3 things in the service fee.
Yep.
And then you're paying the state tax, and then you're tipping the driver. And they're losing that much money. To be honest, it's I don't get it. I'll never get it. Grubhub lost money.
Well, and I wonder. So there was one of the articles, I think it was that Randy shot out, was the CEO of Spotify or Shopify.
Shopify,
yeah, Shopify, who basically, his proclamation was that the days of being office centric are over. And letting his people work from home forever and that kind of stuff. And I want, you wonder with some of these business, some of these companies that don't quote unquote own anything. How much of their money is being spent on physical office space and that kind of stuff to have people in a central location, and can they become profitable if they start with this remote worker motif and don't worry about leasing office space and don't worry about having that as a cost center and all that kind of stuff. It's an interesting question to me.
Yeah, well, you do great. You're going to get the next market bubble with the commercial real estate shitting the bed.
Well, dude, we've been talking about that with WeWork, where basically they said, if WeWork were to ever truly fail, that it would just decimate, entire swaths of, the real estate, market in different cities around the world.
If that's the next bubble, then it makes more sense than home real estate.
Yeah.
Because if you got all this, and here's the thing, I think we talked about this, the last couple of weeks too. People are using this as an excuse to get out of shit. Like, I think people are looking at like these crazy leases they're spending on office space going, and this is like their little wake up call, and they're going, COVID, we're out. I don't want to spend this crap. I'm going to get out from under this stupid loan I signed 8 years ago.
Right.
Absolve this debt. How many people are also restructuring and all these, I was talking to, like Hertz is going out of business. We talked about the
Enterprise is in deep shit. What was it? JCPenney just filed for bankruptcy.
I don't understand how Hertz was $17 billion in debt.
Right. So now they're like basically just get $17 billion in debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, get out of here. How do you? That company that old? How do you do that?
Let me look that up because that's a number I saw. But yeah,
that's a good question.
It seems like they're trying to get out of these crappy obligations they got themselves into. It seems like they're not going out of business because the business is bad. They're going out of business to try to get themselves out of some shady deal or some crap they signed.
Dude, entirely possible. And and some of that, like, you've seen, there's been a lot of announcements that I've seen about, bars and restaurants that have just, decided, hey, they've just shot off notes to their employees in the last week or so that's just said, hey, as it turns out, no, we're not going to reopen. And you wonder if some of that is that as well. Is it, we just realized, hey, the financial obligation that we took on, just there's no ROI there. Why even bother continuing?
So according to Motor1.com, Hertz is $13.4 billion are vehicle loans and $3.7 billion are corporate bonds. So that's $17 billion in debt.
Jeez.
Doesn't that money revolve pretty quickly though? Because they buy these cars, then they rent them for a year, and then they sell them.
Yeah.
I would think that's pretty liquid. It's not like a hard loan. Maybe I'm wrong. Because they're everywhere globally.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So I don't know.
Actually, and this kind of, doubling back on the DoorDash thing, Applebee's, one of our favorites, is pulling some shady shit, where they've basically launched a new brand, but it's still just out of their Applebee's locations called Neighborhood Wings. And
that's
so
trash.
And so people are ordering, from, they look up on, Grubhub or DoorDash or neighborhood wings. Oh, okay, local place, whatever, cool. I'll try to support them. No, it's Applebee's. It's always Applebee's. It will always be Applebee's. And yeah, that's some shady shit right there.
Well, this is kind of like the story we talked about a few years ago where you had all these virtual restaurants where it was like this one giant industrial kitchen space, and then it was a bunch of virtual restaurants for takeout only.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, but don't rebrand your trash. Like if I find out, like if you give me your food and it says Applebee's on it, that one guy, I'm looking for the tweet, and he's like, if I wanted your trash food, I would have ordered it from you.
Yeah, exactly. I would have ordered it from you. Because, and that's the thing. I mean, it's not like, and they try to put a spin on it that, we're trying to offer things that aren't necessarily on our menu. Dude, wings are absolutely on the Applebee's menu. They absolutely are. And there's no difference in what's being sent out under that name. So what are you doing other than trying to deceive people?
The shit-ass one?
Why not just call it not Applebee's? Like, that's the new name. It's not Applebee's.
Dude, the shit-ass one is Chuck E. Cheese called themselves Pasquale's Pizza and Wings on Grubhub.
I guess Pasquale is one of the animatronic rats that you see in the restaurant.
Yeah, and dude, I mean, like, let's be real. Who in their right mind is getting Chuck E. Cheese pizza delivered to their house? Like,
dude,
who?
Chuck E. Cheese pizza is like this much above that, like frozen Jack's pizza for 99 cents. At, like,
exactly.
Like it's straight up trash. I got little kids, man. I got to go to Chuck E. Cheese once.
Except we've all been there.
You don't go there for the pizza. You just happen to have the pizza because it's there while you're there.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was just thankful when they started serving beer. That's
my favorite part about Chuck E. Cheese these days is the volume is so low. The workers have all had to revolt because when we were kids, remember the lights would go down.
Oh, dude,
and it was
that
loud
shit
as
was
hell.
so loud.
Like now, when you don't even know the show's starting, and Chucky comes out, and it's like it's got to be on like volume. If it's on 1 to 10, it's on like 1. Like the kids, the guys are like, nope, not. I don't care. Like literally, I think they've all given up. And the guy, the guy in the rat suit, getting his balls punched every 30 seconds by some sugared up kid. What a freaking hellhole! I'm amazed those are still in business. By the way, like literally amazed.
So I do. So speaking of somebody that's and actually maybe doing something right, we mentioned Netflix and those kind of places earlier. Apparently, they said it's less than 0.5% of all their accounts that are quote unquote inactive. So apparently, if you are if you don't use Netflix for a year, they're going to go ahead and send you an email and say, hey, would you like to keep your subscription active even though you haven't used it? And if they don't hear from you, they're just going to go ahead and finally cancel you.
Why is this? A, why is this news? And B, why are they announcing it?
Well, I mean,
why do they give a shit?
So to me, this might have actually been almost a PR move where, because I mean, you think like, oh, well, okay, yeah, you always announce all these numbers of subscribers. How many of them are actually active? So to me, the entire point of this article might have just been to say, hey, less than 0.5% of our subscriber base is quote unquote inactive.
Plus just some good, hey, look what we're doing. We're saving people money who didn't realize they were spending it. There's still stories of people still paying for like AOL dial-up subscriptions.
Right.
That, they've paid $23.99 a month for the last 18 years because they didn't realize they were still paying for it.
Dude, I'm not going to lie, man. Like Netflix needs to step their game up or something, man. These freaking Adam Sandler movies are just utter shite. And like I watched some other movie with my wife the other night called Lovebirds with the guy from Silicon Valley.
Dude, so I'm spending more time on Hulu, which and one of the stories that came across was that apparently they're redesigning their home screen. But I mean, I spend more time on Hulu than I do anything else. I mean, I love their shows. I love their catalog. They've got some really great documentaries on there. Honestly, one of the only time, like I'll hop on Netflix if somebody mentions something is on Netflix, and I'll go check it out. But I mean, like my default is I fire up Hulu and see what's there.
It's hard to find stuff on Netflix. Like they give you like the 6 categories on the homepage that they give you, but like you can't browse by subgenre or anything on Netflix at all.
Well, they did the top 10.
I mean, you can, don't you just have to, like, you got to scroll way down.
Yeah.
But like you get like the top level genres, but if you want to do subgenres, you have to like do custom special URLs on the web browser. And
so wrestling's on right now with the crowd. There's like 25 people in the crowd, all like 6-7 feet apart, and they're just like, and it's all the talent. It's really awkward. It's really bad.
Hey, I mean, they could do what Korea did and maybe put sex dolls in between them and make it look more full.
I would be fine with that. They could put video game people in there, or just pipe in the chants, whatever.
Yeah, just CGI people in the seats. It'll be fine. Nobody will notice.
Yeah, but going back, like Randy, I used to
although speaking of people in seats and wrestling, I gotta give him a little shout out. I don't know if you caught the, I guess AEW is running some new promo, like I guess for some upcoming thing, and Mikey and one of the other guys from Breaking Down the Ring are prominently in the commercial, in the promo, sitting there with Mikey's got his belt over his shoulder and that kind of stuff, right there in the front rows. So that was kind of cool to see him there.
I thought he did a screenshot. I'm like, oh, big deal. I've done that. No, he was one of like 3 people in this promo shot. Like it was like legit. Like it was Mikey. It was because I was in.
It wasn't like they were panning the crowd and he happened to be there for a 1/10 of a second. No, he was there.
Mark always puts that picture up of Night of Champions where me with the like into the row and I was basically looking at the camera and waving the entire show like a complete idiot. No, but Randy, going back like Netflix, I used to always have to Google like top movies on Netflix.
Yeah,
like because it's so hard to find anything. Now they got the top 10, but the top 10's all trash. It's like, oh, this trash movie from 2007. I'm like, is that how slim pickings are on Netflix now?
Right. Says the guy who just devoted
I remember
20 minutes
when
talking about 90 Day Fiance.
It's not on. What am I supposed to watch?
I remember when Netflix originals were like quality shows that you would like go to Netflix to watch, but now they're just churning out like 1,600 garbage shows a year. And...
Yeah, Netflix, you're greenlit.
Did I bitch about The Wrong Missy last week?
Yeah.
Oh, that's such trash. The ending it'll never happen in a million years for a million different people. It would never end up that way.
No, not at all.
Kind of like I'm not. We watched Harpoon last night.
Okay.
It had a 93% popcorn rating, so I'm like, usually if it's over 90%, good to go. Like I'll watch. And it was a pile of shit. It was like literally you could have sat. I could have watched the diarrhea gif for an hour and it wouldn't have been any different than this movie. It was that bad. Like I don't get like, is it like he got like his 8 uncles to like rank it on whatever popcorn thing and that becomes
exactly. Yeah. Cast and crew.
You got other friends. Right. And then people watch it are like, oh, this movie's trash. By that point, they were sort of been seen.
Yeah. So, but are you waiting with bated breath for the Justice League re-release?
No.
No.
And I'm going to tell you why.
I gave up on DC movies. I didn't see Aquaman. I didn't see Shazam. Like
Joker. Oh, Shazam was good. Joker was great, dude.
Oh, Shazam. I still haven't watched Joker, and that's actually on HBO. I got to watch that. But yeah, no, dude, Shazam was amazing.
Shazam was really good. It was better than I thought. Joker was way better than I thought.
Well, and Shazam, like me, like I've talked, dude. I assumed I was going to have the hardest time in the world getting past him being Chuck. And that took like 5 seconds. Like I was like that didn't bother me at all. Like I was totally cool.
He was legit. See, here's what's pissing me off about Justice League once again. I've been watching Super Friends cartoons, whatever I can get my hands on.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
at the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, dude, and you got Lex Luthor at the head of the table. To his left, you got Bizarro, Superman, Solomon Grundy. Whatever that 50-foot tall Amazon woman, I forget what her name was. You got the Riddler. On the right side, you got like Sinestro. Like it just Black Manta.
Yeah.
Black Manta. Sorry. You got like the all-star cast. It's like Steppenwolf. That's the best you can come up with. You like it like literally.
So pisses me off. Like I feel like they teased that at the end of that last movie that Justice League or that the Legion of Doom was going to be happening, but haven't really heard anything about it.
Yeah, but then you got Mark Zuckerberg playing Luthor. Who cast that trash shit?
Bring back Gene Hackman.
Right. But like, no, the whole point was like for every hero in Super Friends, you had a bad guy corresponding.
Yeah, there was a parallel. Yeah.
Yeah, Batman and Robin had the Riddler, right? They had a couple actually. I don't remember. There's Batman. Bizarro Superman and Superman.
You and like they had like where their powers basically canceled each other out. Oh yeah.
Apache Chief with the 50-foot Amazon woman. Yeah, like it was, Black Falcon. Like it was good, and you could make the story go 100 different ways. You could have done, if you would have done that, like literally 8-on-8 Justice League versus Legion of Doom. You could have done those movies for the next 12 years. They wrote themselves.
Well, and I mean, honestly, maybe that's what they're trying to build up to, a la the Marvel Universe. But
I was gonna say, does DC have anybody like Kevin Feige controlling their overall scope of what the movies are supposed to be?
I'm gonna go with no.
I was gonna say if they do, he's failing horribly.
Here's one of my problems with what DC's doing is you had Suicide Squad come out, which was like basically the Harley Quinn movie because everything else is trash. Then you had Joker come out, which was surprisingly amazing.
But they're not related at all. Like it's a completely different Joker. They're not related. The stories are not linked.
But you're doing Suicide Squad. Jared Leto Burn Pictures just came out today.
Right.
The next Suicide Squad release. And in the meantime, you already had a Suicide Squad spin-off with Harley Quinn.
Yep.
That's like, make up your effing minds. Like you're scatterbrained ADD kid.
But that's the thing. To Randy's point, I don't think they have anybody over there that's doing, for that what Feige is doing, or what Favre's what's his name's doing for Star Wars now.
Dave Filoni.
Yeah. You don't have that, I don't think, on the DC side, and I think that's hurting them a lot.
Because it's like, well, wait a minute. Now I'm seeing Jared Leto Joker back, and then wait a minute, I'm seeing like you know what I mean? Like it's just nothing's making sense. Like no one was expecting this Joker to be good. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Well, and the other part of that is and it's okay to start slow. I mean, dude, like Iron Man was a good movie, but it didn't crush out of the gate. It was
yes, it did. It brought them. They were going out of business if it wasn't for Iron Man.
Well,
go back and look at the numbers. Like that movie saved Marvel. Period. No, like seriously, like that movie.
Well, but I guess I'm looking at it in comparison to like what Endgame was and what Infinity War was.
It's a different. That's
what I mean. Like, so it's okay to start small, as long as you have someone that's saying, all right, here's the overarching scene that we're going for in general, and here's how all the stuff's going to tie together, and that's just what I don't think is there.
I mean, Iron Man made $600 million. Iron Man 2 made $600 million. Endgame made $2.8 billion.
Right.
Iron Man 3 though made $1.2 billion. So I mean, and then
3 came out after some of the other movies, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the first Avengers only made $1.5 billion only.
Only. Well, no, but so that's the thing. But at least you had, there was some sort of cohesive plan there that said, all right, we're going to start with this. And, dude, and I'm quite sure it was, hey, we're going to start with this and see what happens, because it's like, dude, they didn't know that was going to happen. They didn't know it was going to become a thing. I mean, I'm sure they hoped like hell it would, but
dude, they gave it $140 million budget. I mean, huge.
Well, that's what. So they did it. Yeah, so they did it right. I mean, if they're going to gamble on it, they might as well, do it right. Like I said, hopefully they get somebody over there to figure shit out.
Right, but like do you now, which would be kind of badass, make a Batman movie with Joaquin Phoenix Joker?
Right.
Like 1 versus 1. Like that's it. Like
going back to like the '89 Batman and yeah.
No, but '89 Batman had multiple bad guys. Just one bad guy. That was it. Didn't '89 have?
Nope, just the
Nicholson.
Joker.
Was it just Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson, yeah.
It was someone else. Because it was always like Poison Ivy and Iceman.
And then 2, you had the second one. You had the Penguin and Catwoman. But yeah, no, the first one was just Nicholson as the Joker.
All right, you're right. Yeah, because I'm thinking Penguin. Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking 2 people, right, for everyone. But yeah, just 1v1, no Robin, no bullshit.
Well, and again, to our point that we've talked about a million times, and stop making a goddamn 3.5 hour movie where the entire universe is at stake. Like, it's okay for Batman to stop Joker from robbing a bank. Like that's okay.
That's why Black Panther was awesome.
Yeah, like I'm okay with that. Like that's cool. Like I don't need the stakes to be that high, and I sure shit don't need it to be 3.5 hours long.
Right. Steppenwolf's gonna take and that was just on today while I was just flipping around, and I stopped to watch it. God, that movie's such shit.
It was not good.
Shit.
It was not good.
It could have been so much. There could have been so much they could have done with it. I don't want to say it makes me angry, because I mean they made that movie probably made $2 billion. Like
right.
But that's the thing, though. Like, if you want to get, I think they understand now. Theaters are done. What's going to get people to the theater? These mega box office hits. You know what I mean? Justice League made $650 million, so like just as much as Iron Man. Oh, that's sad. Woo. Not saying that's sad, but like that's more than I thought.
No, but I mean, that's real. I mean, and that's, one of the stories that keeps circulating is, is this going to be the rebirth of the drive-in? And I'm okay with that, and why aren't, the AMC theaters that have giant ass parking lots, retooling themselves, with those giant, shit. I mean, if I can buy a 30-foot inflatable screen for my backyard, why aren't they retooling with, a giant screen outside and letting people come parking the parking lot and watch movies? Like why can't they?
I want to sit in my car. I'll go drive. Like, I'll sit in my house. I can piss right there. I can get burners right there. Well,
I mean, dude, you're preaching to the choir. I mean, me in movie theaters. Like it takes an event to get me into a movie theater, because I don't like people in movie theaters at all. And especially with these 3.5 hour movies, I want to be able to hit pause and go take a leak. I want to be able to hit pause and go grab another drink. I want
That's why I didn't. What was the last one we saw that was like 3 hours late? They stopped with the whole intermission thing. I'm super surprised that like that hasn't been a thing.
Oh yeah, dude, that's my thing. Like, yeah, and it used to be a thing back in the day, dude. If you do a movie over 2 hours long, I think you owe your audience an intermission, especially, in this day and age where, all the movie theaters have bars in them and all the.
I was going to say, I don't know why theaters don't push for that so that they can get a second round of concession sales.
Yeah.
That too. No, it's good. Yeah, I want another drink. Then I got to miss 5 minutes, because I got to go. Get a half-ass poured whiskey sour.
Do we got anything else?
No, and again, it's just like more like we'll call this the IT and the TV review hour. No, I mean, like,
we had a couple of good topics in there.
No, we did. Well, that's the thing. Like, it's going to be interesting because, like, we started going back to. I think we talked about last week. We starting to trickle people back into our office. I know a lot of people, like Blue Cross downtown. Randy, are you permanently home now? Like,
it's not permanent, but we haven't even talked about opening back up, going back into the office yet. So.
Yeah, I was talking to Charles. He's permanently home based now. So it's like.
Yeah, I'm 100% working from home right now, but I don't know if that'll continue once they open the buildings back up or not.
Oh my God! If you watch the YouTube, there's a working from home fails. Like, basically, it's from newscasters. There's one. It's a girl that's like reading the weather in her kitchen, and like her dad comes down the hallway with no shirt on, pulling a tank top down, and she's like, "Dad!" Then there's another guy that did the Risky Business Fridays, and they panned down, and he was wearing underpants.
Oh, that was the newscast. Yeah, the weather guy that was wasn't wearing pants. That was amazing.
Well, most of the things, like, our kids come into, because I'm on video calls like probably 4 out of the 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like kids are popping in, dogs are
sitting. And
I like how calls suddenly have to be video calls all of a sudden. Like, just voice isn't good enough anymore.
We won't have. Like, it's got to be video.
You know what, though? I mean, there's something to be said for being able to, like, look somebody in the eye and I mean, to some degree. I mean, when you get 30 people on one of these, and it's not exactly that.
Yeah. We did like interviewing, like, we're like, turn on your video. Like it's like we won't even. And we used to do phone screens. Like those are gone. Like it's turn on your video.
Like what do you want to see?
I don't know, just the person. Like you always get a like inflection, like just a feel for how
body language, tone. You can see if they're trying to Google answers. You can.
Yeah. Speaking of which, if you're wearing glasses and you're on a video interview, don't Google answers to questions. Not good. It's not good. Yeah, and it's hard finding cloud engineers these days. Like it's really hard.
Everybody's hiring them. Yeah.
Oh my God! Like we're having a bitch of a time, and we're paying well, like better than market.
Yeesh.
Can't find them.
If only there were events you could go to help find some.
It's getting to that point. I mean, here's the thing: we have to toy about. I was talking to RMC, Jim Bayermeister.
Yeah.
He was like, "You guys thinking about bringing back the Pink Slip party?" And I'm like, "That when this thing breaks open and we're all back to normal again, we're not going to be back to normal. There's going to be a lot of people out of work still.
Yeah.
Does this come back? Because I mean, it's not like this area isn't clamoring for tech talent. There's people screaming for it. So yeah, it's going to be interesting how this thing all shakes out from a job wise, from a technical talent wise. You got are other states coming into poach? Like once, twice a week now I'm declining people from out of state saying they're hiring in Texas. I don't.
Yeah.
You're not coming in our group and poaching. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's supposed to be for local. So yeah, I'm just. It's going to be really interesting. And there's the weird thing is there's people moving right now. Like it's like right now. I don't know why people like this seems like a very weird time. Like we had 3 people leave in the last 2 weeks for like better opportunities. Like that I was shocked. Like, you know what I mean? Like right now we're all pretty stable.
Mm-hmm.
Like apparently people are using this as I'm going to learn a new skill. This is my time to make a change. Like I'm going to grow a beard. You know what I mean? Like everyone's like,
yeah, no, I guess it makes sense.
This is like a reset button for a lot of people. It's really bizarre to watch, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I've had a lot of conversations with folks, especially the ones in the service industry, about wanting to change careers and that kind of stuff, and pointed them at Career Academy and a bunch of other places, and just hey, yeah, start learning. There's a bajillion ways to learn this crap online. Go.
Well, who wants to be in that volatile of an industry where one illness happens? Like how are we going to react in the future? Some little measles bullshit comes out next year. What are we going to do? Put everybody in freaking encapsulated bubble wraps? You know what I mean?
I must have had, I think I had 5 different show hosts call me on Friday or Thursday when the announcement hit about, gatherings of 10 or fewer are now permissible, asking me hey, the studios are open now, right? No, not right. And one of them got a little snippy with me, and I said, look, the cards on table. How are you going to feel if you're sitting there in that nice enclosed room with 8 other people and somebody sneezes? How are you? Yeah, I hadn't really thought that through. Yeah, exactly. That's why the studios aren't open yet. Yeah,
when they say gatherings of 10 or more, they're not talking about an 8x8.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and honestly, I mean, that's been one of the, possibly one of the best things that's come out of this is, just, knowing that Zoom, basically replacing Skype with Zoom. And now, I've been playing with, the TV, we've got one of these TVs in all of the studios. And, so now knowing that, okay, we can bring people, maybe it's the host or, the host and a co-host and maybe one of their guests in the studio. And if you've got more than that, hey, we're going to fire, we'll let them connect in via Zoom, and they can see you and you can see them and you can still talk to each other and that kind of stuff, just as a good, way to keep, numbers down and that kind of stuff. But I mean, we'll see.
Indeed. But hey, yeah, I guess we'll wrap this up. This is what episode? I forgot already.
349.
349.
Almost at 350. Kind of crazy.
This is what happens when I don't write notes down. I'm just going off my phone.
Did we have an ad read, Dave?
Nope.
Cool.
But hey, on this episode 349, we're going to wrap things up on behalf of Bob, Dave, and Randy. Hope you had a nice Memorial Day. Again, hats off to, you can't really say hats off, but like cheers to all of the men and women of the armed forces that put up the ultimate sacrifice to make sure that we can do this shit every week. I guess drink up your drinks and get your phone numbers and stay your ass at home. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Be good. Beat it.
All right. See you, everybody.
Bye.